am Jesus. I try to do it differently every time. How you guys doing? Red Gambit here with the Man, with the Naster, with the Ryan Malaise. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Is it like a fancy way to say, can I say Ryan Malaise, or does it have to be Ryan Malaise?
Both of those are wrong.
Have I been saying it wrongly this entire time?
It's like the word malice is just spelled
Oh
differently.
my god, this entire time, I've known you for years, and you've been letting me say it the wrong way the whole time, without correcting me once.
Well, now you know.
You are the worst kind of troll, sir, let me just say that.
Trust me, I've heard way worse, so... I've had someone call it Miles.
Miles, yeah, I guess, kinda, I don't know. Anyway, we're not here to talk about pronunciation, we're not here to refine the best points in the English language for you guys. We're here to talk about video games, because they are serious business. Didn't you know that?
Of course they are. That's why they make tons and tons of money.
Exactly!
Looks at Candy Crush making $5.9 billion from Activision.
Let's not even go into that. Well, we can talk about that if you want. Because
It could be a small topic.
It could be a small topic. We were trying to figure out topics for today, and we couldn't come up with many. So let's talk about the fact that this happened a couple of weeks ago. So this is not really like fresh off the press kind of news for anyone. But Activision bought, the developers of Candy Crush, whoever the fuck they are, I forget already.
It's King Games, I think
King
it is.
Games, yeah, for like $5 billion, like a lot of fucking money. Like they drove a dump truck full of money up to their office and basically just tipped it right out there and just said, "Call me." So yeah, to me that is. I'm not a market expert, obviously. We are the internet. We just speculate on a very small pool of facts and just go from there. And to me, that is just tremendously short-sighted on their part, because if you want to take the Wayback Machine back to 2008-ish kind of territory, Farmville was blowing up the internet, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, this is so fucking great!" And if they'd done the same thing back then and bought Farmville at the peak of its popularity, may have seemed like a smart business decision. Now, not so much, because the company is fucking tanking and they can't produce a game that anyone likes to save their lives, quite literally.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just kind of what happens with these casual games. They really just come and go, and there's plenty of other three-tile matchup games out there, so Candy Crush isn't really all that unique in that way. So someone will come up with something more casual, and that'll be the end of Candy Crush.
Pretty much. I mean, as you said, like, tile matching games have been around forever. I mean, it's the whole Bejeweled kind of thing going on there, that they just took their concept and, they took it and they did it well. They gave it, like, some really, neat sound effects and shit like that makes it kind of fun to play. But, I mean, I stopped playing Candy Crush a long fucking time ago, and, because, as I mentioned, I'm just hopelessly addicted to Hearthstone. But, as I said, I mean, this is, like, for the amount of money that they paid for this company, off the back of one game, it doesn't. Like I said, not an expert, not a business analyst, but I mean, how can you justify that? How can you go, yeah, sure, this is the goose that lays golden eggs. They'll just keep shitting out profit forever.
Yeah, what's crazy is that Disney spent less to get Star Wars than Activision to get Candy Crush.
Really? Oh, that just makes me sad now.
Yeah, I think Star Wars was like $5.8 billion, so it's not that much of a difference, but it's still less.
Yeah, so, I mean, okay, Activision, they're trying to obviously break into the mobile market, which is, that's fine, I don't give a crap whether they go in there or not. But yeah, just, like, if something bad happens to Activision, I'm not going to really lose any sleep, because they're a bunch of assholes. But, yeah, it's just, if it was me, I would not even touch that with a 12-foot pole.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand wanting the company, but for that much, no.
Yeah.
And I would be so happy to be the guys who were running King earlier. It's like, we just made like nearly $6 billion by making a three-tile match game.
Exactly. It's just, I can't stress enough how I think that's a terrible decision. If they had a legacy, perhaps, they've made smarter acquisitions in the past. They bought Blizzard. That was a smart move, because Blizzard does nothing but make high-quality games. So I can definitely see why that was a sound investment, but it's like, one company off one game is a terrible fucking idea, because, I mean, they've already made other, very similar games, like Pet Rescue Saga and other horseshit that I don't even know about, which is basically the same concept that doesn't do nearly as well. So, to just, we're dancing around the same point over and over again. It keeps coming back to the fact that this is a bad idea by any one stretch of the imagination, and I cannot imagine why they thought it was a good one.
They saw the chart for Candy Crush with money on it and said, "We want that."
How can we do wrong? All right. Well, we've already. I think we've beaten that horse to death already, and we're now just trying to flay its corpse. I don't know. Let's move on. So there was a big release this week, which came in the form of something Marvel. So I'm expecting you to have no input on this whatsoever. It was the trailer for Captain America: Civil War. Now, okay, so let's get it out of the way. What did you think, and do you have any thoughts beyond the trailer itself?
Well, first off, I'm a bit surprised it took them this long, considering the movie comes out in like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's one of those, I'm glad there are finally consequences in the Marvel Universe, because all these movies have shit going down in them, and it's kind of like, does no one seem to care?
Well, the thing is that Civil War, I'm not sure how aware you are, or the readers, the viewers.
I'm aware of the storyline in the comics.
Yeah,
yes.
so the storyline in the comics is actually vastly different to what they're portraying in the trailer. Essentially,
Yes.
The Civil War in the comics, for people who don't know, because obviously Ryan does, because he's suddenly an expert on Marvel, is the fact that there was basically a superhero who just went too far with his powers. He ended up killing a bunch of innocent people, completely by accident. But it brought about, the public obviously reacted poorly to that. It put a lot of pressure on. It's kind of like the old adage of superheroes fuck up and the public turns against them, so we have to. It was done in The Incredibles. That we have to, make them go into hiding or whatever. But in this case, they brought about something called the Superhero Registration Act, which forced all superheroes to register their secret identities, which a lot of people had a problem with. And Iron Man, because obviously Tony Stark doesn't need to hide who he is, was very much in favor of this. And Captain America, for whatever reason, decided that he was going to assist the heroes who did not want to go along with the Civil War, and that basically caused a schism throughout the Marvel Universe that caused everyone to pick a side on whether they were for or against the Superhero Registration Act. This, as we've seen in the trailer, is very different to that.
Yeah, and kind of goes along with the whole Marvel thing of where the heroes just love fighting each other for no reason.
Yeah, because let's fight over Bucky Barnes, because that's exciting.
Yeah, that scene looked a bit weird. It looked like really overly choreographed.
Well, we can get to that in a second. So so what we gather from the trailer is the fact that obviously the brainwashing that we saw at the end of Captain America: Winter Soldier has worn off Bucky Barnes, and he's now obviously willing to fight with Captain America. He did a lot of bad things. The government's kind of pissed off at him, and now they're coming for him. And Cap wants to protect him and make him one of the Avengers, I guess. And obviously Iron Man is not really on board with this, which is not really a completely unreasonable thing to say. You can't. It's like the insanity defense. Just because you weren't really in the right state doesn't mean you didn't do bad things.
Yeah, and who's to say he won't snap again, or really isn't pretending, or something like that. There's just one of those times where, this probably isn't a good idea.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Obviously, we can only glean so much from a trailer. Aside from that, it just looks like one gigantic launch pad for Marvel Phase 3. That was my takeaway from it.
Yeah, that seems that way, and it's another one of those things. It's like one of the two big complaints I have with the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that, one, there weren't many consequences to what was going on, and the other was that every movie felt like it was setting up another movie. Yeah,
well, this one, I mean, we definitely saw Black Panther in the trailer. There were some noteworthy omissions. I mean, I was quite surprised. I was actually kind of surprised that Tony Stark was in there at all, because, I don't know, it's kind of funny watching these things now, because we know for a fact that both Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans are really looking to not play those characters anymore. They're kind of done with them, but they're obviously contractually obligated to keep going with them. So it's kind of weird seeing them, because we love these, as consumers of media, we love these characters. I mean, me especially, I fucking love Iron Man. I love Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man. He does it so well, and he makes what was, to me, previously a fairly boring character just so much fun to watch. But watching him and knowing that he's not really into it kind of sours it a little bit for me.
Yeah, it's just one of those, how much effort are they really going to keep putting in when they just don't seem to care anymore?
Yeah, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. he's a very good actor. He's a very accomplished actor. He's very professional. He's I think he's a method actor from what I've heard as well. And I'm sure that regardless of how much he actually wants to play the role, he'll still keep putting in good performances. Chris Evans, I don't know, not half as good an actor. Probably a little bit harder to hide that disdain.
Yeah, probably. At this point, more people are going to see Iron Man than Captain America at this point. Captain's kind of just there at this point.
Yeah, which is the interesting thing, because obviously in that trailer we saw at the very end of it, Captain America and Bucky giving Iron Man a bit of a beatdown, so it'll be very interesting to see how that turns out in the movie, because I'm quite sure that Marvel know that that Iron Man is like the most popular character in the Avengers at the moment. So the chances of him just being violently subdued by Captain America to me seem pretty limited.
Yeah, most likely it's just one of those. They're both the good guys essentially, so they're gonna have to find some way to come up with some villain to come in and kind of ruin things, because there's no way they're gonna have the whole conflict be Captain America versus Iron Man. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because obviously, I mean, the fact is that they can't, from a logistic standpoint, the next movie that we're going to see these two characters in together is going to be Avengers 3, so they're going to have to kind of had like kissed and made up by that stage.
Yeah, it's just one of those, who's going to be the actual villain for this, or, are we going to get another Hail Hydra moment?
I love Hail Hydra moments. Yeah, so that's kind of what I mean. Aside from that, I mean, I thought it looked pretty good. I've made this clear before. I'm not a fan of Captain America. I think he's a very dull character. As much of a fan as I am of Marvel, I just never have. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm not American, so I don't have that whole patriotism thing going on. Whenever I see the red, white, and blue up on the proverbial screen or comic page or whatever. But I've always just found him to be like a very bland character, and I think Captain America. I think Iron Man actually did put it best when he said that everything that makes you special came out of a bottle. And that really does sum it up very well. So I just like to watch that trailer and go, oh, this actually looks pretty cool. Is still, I think, a big tick in that movie's favor, regardless of whether its motives of trying to set up other films and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. I always found Captain America kind of boring as well. To me, he was always just Superman without the god complex. He was just really tough guy.
Yeah, I mean, when Superman is more interesting than your character, I think you have problems there.
Yeah, Superman is known for being kind of the boring hero at this point.
Yeah, well, I think we've covered this as well, but it's worth repeating that I think that a lot of that comes from Superman just being... I think the problem with Superman is not the fact that he has these god powers or anything like that, it's the fact that he's just difficult to relate to from a human standpoint, to look at this character who's essentially a god, and go, I kind of feel what he's feeling.
Yeah, it just really kind of depends on the writer, because there have been really good writers for him. It just depends. And the thing is, I don't think Captain America has that kind of intrigue at points to him. He's just a tough guy with a really cool shield. Yeah,
and I don't know, are there any physicists out in the audience, or people who know physics better than I do? Because this is always the problem I've had with Captain America. I'm going to get very nerdy for a second. That Captain America's shield is made of a substance called vibranium, which is in the Marvel lore, as far as I know, is the second hardest, most difficult to destroy metal, right behind adamantium. And vibranium is so hard to destroy because, like its name implies, it can absorb any amount of energy, basically without any recoil or anything like that, which is why Cap's shield can just get hit by fucking anything and not have to worry about it. So that being the case, if it absorbs all impacts, which is fine, why does it bounce when he throws it?
There are tiny springs between these atoms.
Exactly. And it's like, that makes no sense. Why does it hurt people? It should be like hitting them with a pillow when you throw it.
Well, it is a shield, so it really shouldn't be used as a weapon in that sense, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can buy the fact that he can ricochet it off stuff and throw it back. I'm fine with that, but it's just like the actual science, when they try to explain how his shield works, that really bugs me.
It's a movie. You're not supposed to think about it.
And if they just said it's like a really fucking... If they just said it was adamantium, I probably wouldn't be bothered by that, because I'd be like, okay, it's indestructible. But they went, no, it's vibranium, and vibranium works this way. So that's kind of why I take issue.
We're such nerds.
We are such nerds, that's true. That's why we're never getting girlfriends. Alright, let's move on from there. Let's talk about... Speaking of girlfriends, speaking about things with boobs... Let's talk about Dead or Alive Extreme 3, because this game is coming out not very long from now. I think it's coming out in February at some point. I don't have the exact date, but it's definitely coming out early next year. And we covered this briefly in an earlier episode, but there's been a development in that case that essentially the game was announced midway through the year, and the first thing that they basically announced right next to the fact that it was coming out at all is the fact that it's not being released in the West. Now, that in itself isn't so much of a problem, because at the time we were like, okay, well, this game just probably doesn't sell that well in the States, it's probably not a very big deal. Yeah, we can understand a game like this would be a much better seller in Japan. So, okay, fine, whatever. That was kind of our reaction. Since then, there has been the development that essentially someone asked the community manager of Koei Tecmo Games why they're not bringing it out. What's the reason for not bringing it out? And in a poorly translated statement, unfortunately, so there may be some ambiguity here, They were quoted as saying, "Do you know how many issues happening in video games industry with regard to how to treat female in video game industry? We do not want to talk those things here, but certainly we have gone through in the last year or two to come to our decision. Thank you." So, obviously a little bit of broken English there, but basically what they're saying is that from the gist of that, what we can assume is that they don't want the internet white knights getting up in the grill about how they portray women.
Yeah, that seems to be the gist of it.
Yeah, so obviously, the second that the internet saw that, this is it hasn't turned into Gamergate 2.0 just yet, but it is, obviously ruffling a lot of feathers that, we're talking about self-censorship in video games again all of a sudden and things like that. And again, obviously people getting upset about that, rightly so or not, that's up to you to decide. But, what are your thoughts there, man? Do you think that just because they don't want to have to deal with any kind of Western backlash regarding the way that they portray women in games, that they should essentially self-censor their content?
In one hand, I don't want to think they're smart enough to actually pull a Streisand effect for this.
You think it's just like some bizarre reverse marketing campaign?
Yeah, quite possibly. But at the same time, it's one of those. This game is clearly meant to be one thing and one thing only. Mm-hmm. So it kind of falls into that almost parody area.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like it's a game that's supposed to be taken seriously, and it's not supposed to be taken seriously, and yet it pulls this kind of crap with its female characters. It is what it is. It doesn't stop it doesn't stop people from making porn or something like that. It's just kind of its own thing.
So first thing you do is draw a comparison between DOAX and porn. Okay, that's a good start. Keep going.
Again, it's just one of those. I'm trying how to best put this.
Try to articulate.
Yep. It's not being serious, and you know what you're getting into just going into it.
Yeah. It's
not like, say, The Last of Us, where they suddenly treat a female character really weird.
You're basically saying that it's self-parody is what it's self-aware and it's self-parody is what you're saying.
In a sense, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, people on this channel, well and truly by this point know my attitudes towards this kind of thing. So, obviously I don't give a crap about this. Games are games, and they portray people sexually. That's what we do in society. It's okay. You're allowed to do this. We can have, women with big tits and, jiggle physics and all that kind of crap. At the same time, we can have, dudes that are stupidly buff and muscular and all those kind of fantasies as well, because it's okay. I'm pretty sure if we talked to any psychologist, they would say that's a fairly healthy thing to want to have. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't give a shit. It's a basic human desire, and therefore I think it's okay. We all pretty much share that kind of common ground, I think. So, to me, limiting themselves, I think I'm not upset about it. It doesn't really bother me, but at the same time, I think that it's kind of a little bit depressing that we as gamers get denied content because publishers and developers are worried about the way that the internet and the society will react to it.
Yeah, that's just kind of unfortunate. It's one of those things where games haven't really been considered art yet, so they can get away with it.
To be fair,
at least in terms of just the general public view of things.
To be fair, it'd be a really long stretch to call Dead or Alive Extreme art.
Yeah, I just mean in a general sense, because you can get away with doing lots of questionable things in movies or books by saying, "No, I'm trying to be an artist."
Yeah. Sort
of thing. You can't really do that with games just yet.
Yeah, true. And obviously it'll reach that point at some stage, but that's an entirely different conversation. So, that's, I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts on that, or should we just move on?
None particularly. I just know a lot of people who are going to go to PlayAsia and get it anyway.
I said that I was kind of upset because, I mean, well, first of all, they're adding VR support, which is great, but it looks like it's not going to be anything really unique. It's just going to be like, instead of the camera floating there, it'll be you floating there watching them. So, not really that exciting. Aside from that, but yeah, I'll just go to PlayAsia and get it. I mean, even though they're cutting my waifu Christy out of it, still gonna get it.
Maybe for DLC.
Maybe so, who knows. Alright, so let's move on from there onto our final topic. Now, you want to talk about Smash Direct, or Smash Event, or something to that effect?
Yeah, after the Cloud trailer, we didn't really get a chance to go over this last time, but after the Cloud trailer, they announced that they're going to have kind of a Smash mini direct in December. And since we're a few days away and we don't know exactly when that is yet, I figured it'd be a good time to talk about that.
Okay, so what can we expect from said event?
We're obviously going to get a release date and pricing for Cloud and a stage. And basically, we're expecting the remaining 2 characters we found in the data mine and the remaining stage. What I'm hoping also is that we get a bit more in-depth into potential balance tweaks, as well as hopefully a fixed tournament mode, because the tournament mode they released sucks.
So, okay, so just before we get into that, so you talked about data mine and 2 other characters. For the people who don't know what those 2 characters are, do you want to tell us?
We don't know the characters, we just know that there are 2 spots left. We originally knew there were going to be 3 spots, and then they revealed Cloud, so you have 2 left.
Okay, do we have any front runners or any speculation that you want to cast on that one as to who they might be?
The front runners are basically whoever won the poll, which they conducted, as well as probably Wolf, who would return from Brawl and basically be there to promote Starfighter Zero that comes out next year.
Yeah, okay. So who do we have outside of Wolf that was right up there in that poll? Like Shantae or anyone else, or what?
Shantae, Shovel Knight, usually some indie character. A few more obscure Nintendo-ish characters, which I doubt will get in. So my money is on an indie character like Shovel Knight or Shantae.
Okay, cool. Well, I know a lot of people have been asking for a long time for Shantae, so maybe they'll finally add her to the roster.
Possibly. Is there anyone you particularly want to see?
No, because I mean, unfortunately, I'm not really that big a Nintendo lore fan. I mean, I guess if I was going to ask for anyone to be on there, I'd probably ask for Bayonetta, just because that'd be just cool as fuck to see her in another game, even though her proportions are just freaky as hell.
Yeah, she'd be like 3 feet taller than everyone in the game.
Exactly. And that's like, for people who don't know, that's always been my weird thing, is that like, even though I love playing as chicks in games, I think that that's great and a lot of fun. Like, playing Bayonetta has always weirded me out, because if you look at like the official artwork of the official model for Bayonetta, her proportions are just really weird. Like, her legs are like 1.5 times longer than they should be, and she's just really spindly and long in a lot of like very strange and disproportionate ways.
Yeah, her legs are just absurdly long to the point where I wonder if that's like where all of her kind of brain is, considering her head is so tiny comparatively.
Yeah, her head is small and her hair is huge. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, like, fun character, great character. I love the way that she's written. She has a fantastic personality. Just, I really wish they'd just change her actual model a bit.
Yeah, make her a bit less Jessica Rabbity.
She did way bigger moves for that. Anyway.
Well, true.
That's all that we really had to discuss. Are there any, is there anything you're playing right now? Anything you want to talk about with that?
Well, I just finished playing Zelda Wind Waker HD for my channel at Brain Scratch. That went fairly well, except at one point I forgot to save.
Oh, so how much did you have to redo?
About 2 hours worth.
Oh shit, son, that's not good.
Yeah, I had to redo a temple and a lot of stuff after the temple.
It's like I was doing Dark Souls on the stream. I wasn't doing Dark Souls, I was doing Bloodborne on stream last night, and I'd managed to like save up like 7,000. I call them souls anyway, because I mean, what are you supposed to call them? Like blood units? I didn't fucking know. And I died trying to get the. I died with them, then I died again trying to retrieve them. So I lost 7,000 fucking blood, which was my entire progress for 2 hours, and that was about the point where I ended the stream.
Yeah, I can imagine why that would piss you off to the point where you'd want to turn it off. But yeah, I basically was playing Wind Waker, and it's a lot easier than I remember it being. I guess 12-year-old me just wasn't very bright.
I just wasn't good at games yet.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, cool. Well, that's pretty. Well, if you guys haven't gone and checked that out, obviously, I mean, everyone here is from Brain Scratch anyway. But if you haven't, for some reason, gone and checked out Brain Scratch comms yet, head over there, check it out. I actually had a lot of fun last night watching the first part of your Sonic Adventure 2 playthrough as well.
Yeah, we're kind of redoing that as a gift to the fans for the holiday season, considering that was one of our first commentaries, and looking back, we didn't do a very good job with it.
So have there been a lot of requests to get a do-over on that one, or we just feel that it was time to revisit it?
We just felt it was time to revisit it with no really new Sonic game coming out this year. We figured it was a good time to kind of go back to something we did before.
Okay, fair enough. And if you haven't checked out yet as well on the channel, I just posted the first part of Devil May Cry 3, which, as you guys requested, I got the feedback from you guys from the channel updates, and you asked for Twitch replays to be put up on the channel directly. So that's what's happening now. So check that out if you do want to see the Twitch stuff that's going on, but don't have time to check out the streams or look at the archive. Those are going to be going up on the channel from now on.
Hooray!
Hooray! So that's going to do it from us. If guys want to check you out on Twitter, where can they find you, Ryan?
You can find me at NairmanBSC.
Indeed, and all my social media thingies and doodads and the jibbly joops, I don't know what that is, are down below in the description, so check those out. Thank you very much, guys. We appreciate you hanging around. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Kisses, hugs, belly rubs. We will see you all very soon.